welcome your host for this evening, Mr. Gay Byrne.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening. Hiya. Hello. Hello there. Thank you. Agus Balo Ye out of Calor. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that lovely warm welcome to Limerick, and I've said it before on the air, I make no apology for saying it again. If out around the country you have not yet had the opportunity of visiting the University of Limerick campus and this magnificent concert hall, do yourself a favour and come and see it as soon as possible, because it is quite magnificent. Right, ladies and gentlemen? Quite magnificent. Wonderful. Now, we had, as always, great fun doing the regional finals in Dublin and Cork and Galway and Cavan, and we have 6 competitors for you tonight in the finals, and I know you will encourage them, each and every one of them, as much as you can. As always, we have a distinguished panel of judges. They're up there on the shelf. I'll introduce them to you now, ladies and gentlemen, but don't give them an individual round of applause, because you'll only wear yourself out. You can give them a collective round of applause at the end. First of all, we welcome the National President of the ICA, Monica Prendeville, and beside her is the handsome, debonair, leading sports personality from RTE, Mr. Des Cahill. Then we have the National President of the Irish Federation of Women's Clubs, May Quinn, and beside her, our own beautiful and delectable Theresa Lowe. The Marketing and Sales Manager for Calor is Mr. Terry Leonard, and beside him, the Home Economics Lecturer at St. Catherine's College, Sign Hill, and Cookery Advisor to Calor Gas, Joe Mead. Now you can give them a round of applause. Now, Brendan O'Neill of the panel of Chefs of Ireland was assisting Joe Mead at the cookery demonstrations yesterday, which all took place yesterday at the Castle Troy Park Hotel just down the road. He cannot be with us tonight, but as usual, marks were awarded for cookery expertise, which is a very important part of the competition, and menu and presentation and all of that details later. But of course, the great thing about entering for the Calor Housewife of the Year is that people win prizes. And let me remind you that regional finalists each received a Calor Gas Super Serve Fire. The 5 runners-up will receive a luxurious family-sized Calor Provence cooker complete with gas worth about £500. The 1994 Calor Housewife of the Year to be chosen here this evening will receive in addition a Calor Gas central heating system installed in her home, wherever that may be, worth £2,000, giving her and her family a complete energy system. And in addition, our lucky winner, of course, will also receive a cheque for £1,500. So that's not bad, is it? Not bad. Right then. Very short interview on each occasion. Let's start with number 1. We go to Swellen in Cavan. She's the mother of 3, a boy and 2 girls, and her husband Raymond is in a retail outlet business for televisions and videos. Let's welcome, please, Mary Fay. Mary Fay. And while they all sit and have a good gawk at you, Mary, let's hear Thelma telling us what you cooked yesterday for us.
We have a taste of the Mediterranean offered to us by Mary Fay, combining the flavors of herbs like tarragon and oregano. The Italian-style chicken is baked with tomatoes and shallots and served topped with melted mozzarella cheese. To accompany, there's garlic bread, fresh fettuccine verdi, a colourful pepper salad with black olives, smothered in a delicious dressing of olive oil and fresh lemon juice. And you'll just have to try and find room for Mary's Pud, which goes to the Italian capital for its inspiration. It's a Roma coffee cake with a raspberry coulis. Arrivederci.
That's what Mary cooked. Right, yes, give her a round of applause. Thank you. Now, this lady is already a prize winner. Tell them about the Honda motorbike that you won. Go on, tell a Honda motorbike. Go.
Yes, when I was 16, I won a Honda motorbike.
Where and how?
I represented Ireland and Turkey in a competition called Miss Team.
Please spare us the details, but tell us about the motorbike anyway. What happened to it?
Anyway, one of my prizes was a motorbike, a Honda 50 motorbike.
Yes.
And the Honda 50 was delivered.
Yes.
And my father wanted to put it in the garage, and I said, no, don't. I want to look at it and sit on it and feel it. So he put it in the hall, facing the door. And I sat in it.
Wouldn't let you ride it? Wouldn't let you ride it?
No.
Forbidden?
Well, I did, but he didn't know I did.
I see,
Yeah.
yes.
So I sat in it, and I had the key, and I turned it on, and something happened, and it just went boom.
What do you mean it went boom?
The front wheel went through the front door.
That was the end of motorbikes for you, was it?
Yeah, he sold it.
Confiscated straight
He
away.
confiscated it very quickly.
Now, you're PR for the Schlieve Russell Hotel. You enjoy that, of course.
I'm involved in
yes.
consumer relations in
Yes.
the Slave Russell.
And your biggest hobby at the moment, what are you most interested in?
Well, with work and children and reading, I like to read because it unwinds me. But I'm involved in County Cavan Swimming Pool Committee because we don't have a swimming pool in Cavan. Well, we didn't have. The only county in Cavan that didn't have a swimming pool. So now, thanks to a large committee...
The only county in Ireland.
In Ireland.
Yes,
Did I say the only county in Cavan?
That's all right, yes. Yes, the only county in Ireland,
The only
yes.
county in Ireland
Yes.
that doesn't have a swimming pool. So thanks to a huge committee and a lot of hard work and fundraising, we now have a quite large hole in the ground.
And do you play a leading part in the musical society?
I used to be in the musical society. I'm not in it anymore because work doesn't permit rehearsals and, it just wouldn't be feasible to be
So
there.
where did you meet this husband of yours, Raymond?
I met Raymond at what we called at the time a hop,
Yes.
a long, long time ago.
I remember hops. Do you remember hops? Yeah. Never hear that word now. It goes with moths and things like that. Yeah, hop.
At a hop.
At what age?
I was 14,
And how old was he?
19.
And how long did it take you to get married?
I got married when I was 19.
Do you regret that?
Not one bit, no.
Not at all?
No,
It's
no.
going well ever since, is it?
It has its bad moments, but it's grand, yes.
So what's the reaction been like for your housewife so far?
It's been absolutely wonderful. The goodwill of the people and, the locals and the hotel have been absolutely great, yeah.
Very
Stunned
good.
and shocked I am.
Well, if you were in a musical society, you must be able to sing me a song. What are you going to sing for?
I'm going to sing a song that won the Cavan Song Contest a couple of years ago, and it's called Cavan Girl.
Nice little song indeed. All right, over you go. Seamus, you know Captain Girl. Very good. In close now, Mary.
As I walk the road from Kilishandra, weary I sit down, for it's 12 long miles around the lake to get to Cavan Town. Through Uchther and the road I go, once seemed beyond compare. Now I curse the time it takes to reach my Cavan girl so fair. Now I curse the time it takes to reach my Cavan girl so
Mary Fay. Next, now we go to Ballyglass, Claremorris, County Mayo. She's a late woman with no children. Her husband is a bus air and transport operator and farmer, and his name is Luke. Let's welcome Hilda Kavanagh. Hilda Kavanagh. Welcome. And here is what Hilda cooked for us yesterday.
Homegrown tenderloin pork is Hilda Kavanagh's choice for main course. The pork is marinated overnight in a cider-based marinade, then stuffed with a breadcrumb and mushroom mixture and baked wrapped in bacon. Hilda's imaginative vegetables include a medley of leek, cauliflower and mange tout, served with crunchy-topped potatoes and pimento sauce, and apple timbales with wild rice on a radicchio salad. And to follow, we have pears with a difference, poached in red wine and maple syrup and decorated with almond tuiles and chantilly cream.
Oh, not bad, yes. That'll do. Hilda Kavanagh, 25 years in a special school, Hilda. Tell us about that.
Yes, Gay. Our school last year celebrated 25 years of special education in Mayo. It was the original school started by local parents and friends, and it's now under the auspices of Western Care Association. And it arose from a community need to serve children with special needs, like cerebral palsy, spina bifida, Down syndrome, and a whole array of syndromes and physical and learning disabilities.
Very difficult.
It is, but very rewarding, Gay. Yes.
And your husband works with you now some of the time, does he?
He does, yes.
Yes.
Just by chance I met him at work. My husband happens to be working for Bus Éireann as one of the school transport network operators in the area, and he brings, in fact, some of my pupils to school. He also goes to other schools in the area. So I met him while he was trying to get some of the pupils, lift them off the buses. And I, as the teacher, had to come out of the classroom and lift them out. So it was one trying to help the other. And I had to look for a man with a bit of muscle. And I asked for help, and he came along and helped me, and we found we could get on very well together.
And was it instant bingo, or was it a slow burn?
No, Gay, it wasn't instant bingo. It was instant trying to have a chat with one another in the morning, but we hadn't time, because ours was the second last stop. Yes. And then in the evening, of course, the children had to be picked up again. And then they were picked up at 3 o'clock and was rushed. But at that time, he used to play in a little band. He was playing an electronic accordion, you know, like a Foster, and his friend was like Alan. So he used to tell me where they were playing at night, and I went to hear them a few times, and then he played a tune any time for me. And it was a very quick romance. We met, got engaged and married in a few months. And then he stole my time away.
Let me also tell you that Hilda Kavanagh is a master angler. How do you become a master angler?
Okay, I'm getting the bite already. I think, yeah, I'm getting hooked. Yeah. You have to come up through the qualifying process in your club, because there's a qualifying process in the Irish Federation of Sea Anglers. And I happen to come from Angler's Paradise in the west of Ireland, where you can sample any kind of angling, whether it's freshwater in Ballinrobe or on the Mask or Cara. But I was born and reared in Westport. And of course, it's the mecca for international sea angling.
It is.
And I qualified through my club to be a master angler. And then I went to the national finals. It's fished over 2 days, where the master anglers from the 4 provinces come together. And they select the top 5 to represent Ireland. And Ireland is affiliated to the CIPS, the Confederación Internacional del Peix Sportiv, which is an international confederation of sports anglers all around the world.
Well,
and you go and compete with them in their countries.
Well done. Very, very unusual. And you dance as well.
Oh, I do, Gay.
What are you going to do for me?
I'll do a little soft reel if I can get my shoes off.
Reel. Get your shoes off. All right. Seamus Brett, do we have a soft reel for this woman? Of course, we have dozens of soft reels. No shortage of soft reels. Here we go. Oh, a formidable lady, I can tell you. Next, we go to the Pinewood Estate in Wexford. She's the mother of 3, a girl and a boy and a little fostered girl. And her husband, Matthew, is a lab technician with Teagasc, and her name is Denise Murphy. Wexford. And here is what Denise cooked for us yesterday.
The delightful fishing village of Kilmore Quay was the inspiration for Denise Murphy's main course. It's surf and turf, combining the flavors of monkfish marinated in lime juice, herbs and honey, with beef marinated in red wine and olive oil. Along with peppers and courgettes, these kebabs look really tempting. There's a colourful sunburst of vegetables and baked potatoes to accompany. Then to follow, there's a citrus cheesecake with fruit diplomat, served with a chilled orange sauce and just a hint of Grand Marnier.
I'm telling you. The standard is a hefty standard all through. How many children have you fostered so far, Denise?
Well over 90, Gay, this day. I lost count at 90.
90?
90.
And how long do you have them for?
Well, it would vary, Gay. They weren't all babies. You could have 2 or 3 in the house at one time, kind of from a family. Maybe the mother took ill and the father. It's just a crisis, kind of. But at average babies, you could have them anything from 6 weeks to 6 months. And they're pre-adoption. Most of them are pre-adoption.
And then the joy when they come and the sorrow when they pack up and go.
That's it.
You've been through that 90 times, over 90 times.
Over 90 times.
Crazy. What satisfaction do you get out of doing it?
I don't know, I'm a lunatic.
Probably.
I'm a lunatic. I must be some kind of a lunatic.
Which it doesn't matter anyway. It's a wonderful, wonderful work. So you've 2 of your own at the moment.
I have, yeah. Well, we've 3. We class
Yeah,
all
of
3
course,
as 3 of
yes,
our own.
all right, that's very... And sewing. You got off to a bad start with your
Oh, I
sewing.
did. I used to midge school. I was an antichrist in school. Midged regularly, hated school. And my father caught us one day in the local park and we got murdered, so that was the end of midged in school. But he was a photographer of the Wexford Festival and I was always interested in the photographs. And I joined the wardrobe of the Wexford Festival and literally covered buttons and sewed in buttons for about 3 or 4 years. And we graduated and kind of got more confidence and I started to work on my own and I worked at Tomás McCann of the Abbey for a pageant of the Purple and Gold when it was held in Wexford back in the early 80s.
Yes, so you're a master sewer now, are you? Well, you're pretty, you must be pretty handy. What's this Maura said to me about this chorus story or the...
No, well, it's a wardrobe story.
Wardrobe
You know,
story, yes.
literally the wardrobe's the greatest place for rumours. But one year we had the festival and the budget wasn't as good as it is in Wexford at the moment. And there was a shortage of a certain garment, but the men had to wear tights. And if you can imagine a pair of men in a pair of tights, it's not a pretty sight. So they had to wear this undergarment called a jockstrap.
Indeed, they do.
So there was a shortage of jockstraps that particular year, and there was about 11 for 30 men.
11 jockstraps?
Yes.
For 30
So
men.
our wardrobe mistress, Story Pethet, Lord of Mercy on her, in her wisdom put a sign on the door because she was sick explaining that jockstraps were reserved for those with larger parts. she meant principles.
What's this? Stop laughing at that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. What's this I hear about you falling in the puddle yesterday?
Not
What do you-
yesterday. Not
what-
yesterday.
what, not yesterday?
After the regional finals.
after the regional, yes,
Oh,
right.
I thought I was very important. And we walked out of the Burlington, myself and my husband, and it had been lashing rain. And my photograph was in the paper with you, and I thought everybody was looking at me. I thought I was Mary Robinson from a day. And walked out, and I had my bouquet of flowers and this, and my case and something else, and my bag over my arm. And as I said, it had been raining, and the 2 feet went from under the knees, the skirt flared out, and I fell on my bum in the puddle.
Outside the Burlington?
Outside the
Oh,
Burlington.
the shame of it.
I know.
What did you do?
I got up as quick as I could and went around Dublin with a wet bum for the
That's
rest of
right.
the day.
Dignity at all costs, Denise. That's the
Exactly.
thing. Dignity at all. You dropped your
I've
little
lost
note
it.
now. Okay, what are you going to do for me now? You have
I'm going to
something
do a
written
poem, Gay. This was actually sent to me after the regional finals by a lady, I presume. I must have had her baby, but she sent me this poem, and I'm going to acknowledge her by reading it tonight.
down. Presume you must have had her baby.
Yeah, you see, I wouldn't
You
know
wouldn't
the
know.
mothers of any stage, even though they probably think we do, kind of because, needless to say, the confidentiality is
Very
there.
well. Oh, well, let's hear it then.
Okay.
Special.
It's called Legacy to an Adopted Child, and it's for anybody who's adopted or in foster care. And it goes, once there were 2 women who never knew each other. One you do not remember, the other you call mother. 2 different lives shaped to make yours one. One became your guiding star, the other became your mum. The first one gave you life, the second taught you to live it. The first one gave you the need for love, the second was there to give it. The first saw your first sweet smile, the second dried your tears. The first gave you a need for emotion, and the second calmed your fears. The first gave you up, it was all that she could do. And the second prayed for a child, and God led her straight to you. And now you ask me through your tears, that age-old question through the years. Hereditary or environment, which are you the product of? Neither, my darling, neither. Just 2 different kinds of love.
That's Denise. We meet the most fantastic women around the country, we really do. All right then, back to Glasnevin in Dublin now. She's the mother of 2 boys, and her husband Oliver is a metal fabricator. Let's have a welcome for Sheila Morris from Glasnevin. There's a lovely, happy, smiling face. Lovely, happy, smiling face. Let's hear what Sheila cooked for us yesterday.
Now a meal that will surely have Irish man appeal. Tender fillet steaks with a sauce of mushrooms, peppers, cream, and just a drop of brandy. And there's a touch of the green, white and gold in the seasonal vegetables too, which include broccoli, cauliflower and carrots. We have 2 types of spuds, Irish potato bake, and of course ever popular roasties. Another perennial favourite has been chosen by Sheila for her dessert. It's rhubarb pie with custard, her own homemade pastry, and of course rhubarb from the garden.
I love rhubarb tart. Love rhubarb tart. Absolutely adore it. Just briefly, Sheila, tell them about your hell years. What you told to me was your hell years.
Well, Gay, after I got married in 1982, when my first son was born, I gave up work and I decided I'd become a full-time housewife and stay at home and look after my children. And then we had our second son, and when he was 3 months old, my husband was made unemployed. And 4 weeks later, our son died of cot death syndrome. We found him one morning dead. And the next 3 years that followed were my hell years, because the financial strain plus the trauma of getting over the loss of our son caused us a lot of heartbreak. And I had to get back into the job market because it was easier for me to get work than my husband at the time. And I could not get back into office work what I was used to. I was obsolete. So I worked in hotels and I worked in the Bon Secours Hospital. And I did what I could to bring the money in to keep the mortgage going and to keep going. And eventually I got a lucky break. I got into Aer Lingus and I got into the cleaning section. So when I got in there with my education, I decided I was going to start doing courses, and I availed of the staff development courses. And after a long time, I applied for several interviews against the advice of many of my colleagues who said I was mad, that it was very difficult to move from operative into clerical. But that wasn't keeping me down. I decided I was going to keep going. And after a lot of interviews, my interviewer said to me, "What will you do if you don't get this interview?" And my answer was, "Well, do you see this face? Just get used to it, because I'll be back again and again and again."
Oh, you're a great boy. Things have picked up since then. You're doing well.
Yes, after 16 interviews, Gay.
16 interviews.
16 interviews.
They finally got used to your face and
Yes,
said,
yes.
"Mother
They
of
finally
God,
got
we've
fed
better
up with
take
me
her."
and said, "Let's give her a job."
Anything for an easy life. What would you do, Sheila, if you won the £1,500?
I would buy a piano.
A piano?
Yes.
Why?
I learned piano as a child. My mother believed in sending us to music lessons, and we had many parties in the house, and I played the church organ and played at weddings. And since I got married, I've had no piano. And I'd love to get back into music, and I'd love to bring the culture of music back into the home.
Well done. That's a lovely ambition. Terrific. Okay, what are you going to do for me? You have a little poem.
I'm going to do a little poem that was given to me by a patient in the Bon Secours Hospital when I was at my very lowest ebb, when I was about to give up.
You wouldn't believe it looking at your lovely smiling face. Go on, do it anyway.
It's called Don't Quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as each and every one of us will at some time learn. And many a fellow turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow, because you might succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar. So stick to that fight when you're hardest hit, because it's when things seem worst that you must not quit.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well done, Sheila. Sheila Morris. Sheila Morris from Glasnevin. Next we go to Ennistimon in County Clare. She is the mother of 6, 5 boys and 1 girl. She is a widow. Would you welcome, please, Aloma McKay. Welcome again. And of course, we expected something unusual from Aloma in the cookery line, and indeed we got it. What, Thelma?
Bombay chicken. Chicken that has been marinated in yogurt with fresh ginger and garlic, baked in the oven, and served with a sauce that has been flavored with Indian spices like cumin and coriander. To accompany, there's yellow aromatic rice, vegetables which include courgette, red and yellow peppers and coconut, cooling cucumber raita, and a selection of homemade chutneys and pickles. And Aloma sticks with the exotic theme for her dessert. It's tropical fruit brulee with a caramel syrup.
That was Aloma. Now I'll just trace you briefly, because Aloma was educated by the nuns in her own home country. You got an MA in?
In English.
English. And then you married this Irish fella, and you were in Washington, and you all decided to come back and live in Ireland. How long afterwards did he die?
About 6 months. 6 months after we came here, he died suddenly.
With all your children?
Yes, we came here with the whole family.
And did he know he was going to die?
No, it was sudden. If I had known that, I wouldn't have stepped out of the States.
You wouldn't have?
No,
wouldn't you? Yes,
no. But he had a problem, but it wasn't life-threatening, and he was in the hospital with a fluid retention problem, and, they thought the doctor sent him there to dry out. But he got a very severe pain in his side about 3 days before he died. And then I went to see him Saturday afternoon, and that early Sunday morning, he had gone.
How did you cope with that? 5, 6 children?
Well, I think that was the most difficult period of my life. It was very difficult to cope because I was in a strange country. I had good friends, but not that many, and I didn't have any family around. And I went through a terrible period where, I had despair, anger with God for doing such a thing to me, taking him away when I needed it most. But then my children were young, and whether I liked it or not, I just had to get up and go. And they were my salvation.
Tell all the people about Campbell's soup. You have a special relationship with Campbell's soup.
Oh, I do. Well, when I first got married, I didn't know how to cook. And coming from my background, we had servants at home to do the cooking and the cleaning.
You were never in the kitchen?
No. My mother tried, God bless her,
Yes.
but it didn't work.
Yes.
So anyway, my husband used to come home. When I got married, of course, we went to Washington, D.C. And here I was faced with housework and cooking and cleaning, and I'd never done these things before. So my husband would come home at 6 o'clock expecting a meal fully prepared. And I wouldn't wander into the kitchen till about 8, because back home we wouldn't eat until about 8 or 9. So I'd wander into the kitchen about 8, and I thought Campbell's soup was the greatest invention on earth, because here were all these different flavors. And you could open a flavor every day. And eggs. You could do a lot of things with eggs, very versatile. Omelette, scramble, bake, poach, whatever.
And this is what he got?
This is what he got.
Every day?
Every day. Well, different brand of soup came.
Yes, indeed,
Yes.
of course. You wouldn't do tomato 2 days in succession or anything like that. No. Wonderful.
And it wasn't until later that I learned that he really hated soup.
What is the significance of the red spot?
Well, the red spot indicates that you're married. Danger, hands off. If you were single, you'd wear a black one.
I must remember that. Mind you, putting a red spot on your forehead for an Irish fella only encourages them to come closer, I suppose.
Is that right?
You want to be warned about that, very much indeed. You're going to sing for me.
I am.
A little favourite song.
It is.
In your lovely favourite sari. Over
Okay.
here. Scarlet Ribbons, I do believe. Yes. Scarlet Ribbons.
I prepared to say good night, and then I heard my child in prayer, and for me some scarlet
Emma McKay from Ennistimon. And finally, from Toker in Cork, she has one daughter aged 3.5, and her husband Don is a general operative in UCC. Let's welcome Carol Murray. Carol Murray. Okay. What did Carol cook for us yesterday, please?
What could be nicer than Irish spring lamb? And Carol gives it her own special treatment, stuffed with fresh breadcrumb stuffing and wrapped in puff pastry. Delicious seasonal vegetables to accompany. There's broccoli, steamed leeks, julienne of carrot, and herbed new potatoes. For dessert, it's a combination of fresh cream and fruits like raspberries and apples, more cream, crushed meringues, and Irish liqueur, together with a few other bits and pieces that produces what Carol calls her raspberry liqueur surprise.
That's Carol Murray. How did you meet your husband, Don?
Well, Gay, I met him at a local disco.
Uh-huh. Could we have the details, please?
Right, it was New Year's Eve.
It was.
And the place was packed.
Yeah.
And he was loaded.
Yes.
And I had nowhere to sit, so I sat on him.
He was on the floor. Good. Good thinking. You're not a drinker?
No.
No. But he
No.
makes up for both of you, I presume.
Yes.
Or he used to at that
Well,
time.
he used to at that
He used
time.
to at that time. He's given up now. Oh, that's grand. So you sat on him.
I sat on him.
It's the start of a very nice relationship indeed.
It was.
Yes.
When he came to or came round or saw what was there, he asked me would I like to dance.
He was in a condition to dance, was he?
Oh, no.
No, he wasn't.
But he asked anyway.
He asked anyway. Very good. And did you?
I couldn't get him up.
It's amazing the way wonderful relationships start, isn't it? Wonderful. What do you like to do in your spare time, Carol?
I don't have a lot of spare time, but reading and any type of music. I like to do that sort of thing.
And how is your little girl, Jan, now? She's 3.5, and you adopted her.
That's right. We were 11 years married and we hadn't any family of our own. We had put in for adoption, and when Jan was mentioned to us, we went to see her in the foster parents' home. I'm looking at her now. And one look and that was it. She was for us and that's how she was.
And how is the sight?
We're very hopeful. She hasn't any sight in her left eye. In her right eye has been operated on 4 or 5 times, and they're thinking she has somewhere between maybe 50 and 60%, which we hope will be enough to get her through school and that she won't have to go to a special school or anything.
And you're working on it?
Oh, we're working on it. A lot of hours. There's a lot of hours in it.
You're going to sing a little Mary Black number for me.
I am. Katie.
Katie, but we have that. Seamus, Katie, Mary Black from the repertoire. Thank you, Carol. Well done.
Tumbling curls of green by stained glass sleeping light. The yellow colored lampshade used to keep us up all night. And the smile upon her face, the tears upon her cheek, the night sky on the window, and her heart's calling out to me. Come running home again, Katie, come running home again. Cross my heart and hope to die. Shall I cause another tear from your eye, Katie?
Carol Murray from Cork. Here are 6 finalists, and this is where we ask our panel of judges to retire to make their final decision, and we take a quick commercial break. We'll be back to you in a thrice. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for now. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Limerick, and I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that out around the country in the regional finals, we have a lot more time removed from the constraints of television, and we have a lot more time with all of our guests, and we have a great bit of crack. So we decided to put this little potpourri together of the sort of thing that we encountered around the regional finals this year. Sit back and enjoy.
He said he used to be watching me long legs going up the yard.
He just saw the legs first, did he?
Yeah.
Going up the yard.
Yeah.
Gives a whole new meaning to that expression, up the yard, doesn't it? You're up the yard! And where did you meet when you were 16?
Well, through the best marriage agency in the whole of Ireland.
What's that?
Macron Firma.
That's the best marriage agency in Ireland. So that's the secret of success, is it? Well done, I never realised. Macron Firma.
Oh yes, there's lots of people here now.
Get away.
Agree with me there.
I'm just standing here remembering that I had a bowl of soup and one little brown bun at about 1:30 today. And not another bite has passed me lips since then. And Joe Mead sits down there and goes on and on and on about crunchy almonds and little bits of salad and crispy duck. Oh.
When he left me home that night, I said to my best friend, I'm going to marry that boy.
Did you? Why?
I just knew I was going to marry him.
Why? What did you fancy about him?
Don't know. I still don't know.
And I thought he was lovely because, you know, he had a full-length brown leather coat, a really long one. And all of my friends now, we were kind of looking at fellas that had half leather bomber jackets, you know. So this fella had twice as much leather, you know.
You keep a record of all this, do you? Every single day?
Seems like yesterday.
I know. And you know what a lousy day yesterday was, it?
So I brought my mum, I brought my dad, I brought my sister, I brought her husband, I brought another sister and her husband, I brought another sister and a brother. So, and my sister's mother-in-law came as well. So big crowd of us.
On honeymoon?
On honeymoon. Yes, yes. And as the night wore on, the men moved closer to the women.
Yes. Yes.
So eventually we were just arm's length away.
Yes.
So they had to pluck you out, we said.
And he did.
He did. He just moved up beside me.
Wonderful.
I go swimming every Monday night. I should be in Killarney in the pool this minute.
And you're here at the Neptune.
And I'm here with Jay Burton. And I'd say there's some of the gang up and down the pool and they have Hail Mary, how's Gay Burton?
We met in Donegal, home on holiday.
Yes, and was it a slow burn or was it bingo straight away?
Kind of bingo, but he didn't know it.
Kind of bingo, but he didn't know it, I see.
I didn't tell him too quick.
Right, right. So how long afterwards did you inform him that you were going to marry him?
I suppose about 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years?
Yeah, years. Until I wanted to make sure it was the right one.
And in Cyril's hand, little hands, was a tiny box. And on the front of the box, do you remember, Gay? On the front of the box, there was a little card. And you see, my Prince Albert always called me Rose Bowl. And on the box it said, this little squirrel, he bears a gift, which when you open, your heart will lift. 'Cause Rose Bowl, dear, for the rest of my life, I'm asking you to be my wife.
Do you ever think you look a little Italian?
Yes.
Yes. You do look a little Italian with the brown eyes and the lovely, well, there's nothing wrong with the rest of it either. But anyway, and what did he reply when you said on the altar, you're drunk?
He says, you're sober. I said, no. But I'll be still beautiful tomorrow.
Well done.
It's been really lovely holidays that I don't know where I'm going.
Never.
I just get the ticket at the very last second. And...
Oh, that's romantic.
Oh, it's lovely.
To Bray, is it?
If I was going a wee bit wibbly-wobbly, he says, ha-ha.
Ha-ha, he says.
And that's enough. You just have to say ha-ha,
Ha-ha.
because I wouldn't go against him for the world.
Must remember that. Next time Kathleen Watkins looks crooked, I'll go, ha-ha.
I've been doing 20 press-ups every day preparing for this night. Just for you.
That will get you nowhere.
I know.
Nowhere.
Take love and loyalty, mix it with faith, add kindness, tenderness and understanding.
Sprinkle abundantly with love, bake it with sunshine, and serve generously daily.
They were just some of the lovely, lovely people we met on our regional finals around the country, and we're grateful to everybody, of course, once again, for their cooperation and help. Not least all our contestants tonight. I want to bring them back on stage now with, as they say, their connections. So let's have a round of applause for them all back on stage. We first of all met Mary Fay. Here she is with her husband, Raymond. Then we had Hilda Kavanagh, and here she is with her husband, Luke. Hilda Kavanagh and Luke. Denise Murphy and her husband, Matthew. Denise and Matthew. Sheila Morris from Glasnevin with her husband, Oliver. Alas, no husband with Aloma McKay, but her family Patrick, Malachi, Christiane, Dominic, Martin, and Jean Marie. And finally, from Cork, Carol Murray and her husband, Don. And I want to express my thanks to them all for their cooperation right throughout the competition. Now I want to introduce on stage a lady who has been an extremely worthy representative for Calor and the Housewife of the Year during the last year, and her period of tenure is rapidly drawing to a close. She's coming on stage to hand over her sash. Would you welcome, please, Alison Nayland, the current Housewife of the Year. A good year for you, Alison?
A fantastic year. I'd like to say thank you very much to Calor for providing such a terrifically super year. I win Calor Housewife of the Year and see Ireland, ladies and gentlemen, and that's for sure. I discovered places I never knew existed. But I would like to say thank you to all the regional managers for the fabulous support they gave me throughout the country. And a very, very special thanks to one terrific lady, Elizabeth Verling.
That's right. Very good. You've been a splendid housewife. Thank you for your year. And stand by now to hand over your sash. Well done, Alison Nayland. Thank you. Stand by. Now, I want to welcome on stage the Chairman and Managing Director of Calor Coast and Gas, Val Gunning, who has a few words to say. Val?
Your Worship the Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate all the finalists in tonight's competition in this superb university concert hall. It's no wonder that the people of Limerick are proud of such a spectacular venue. We too in Calor would be proud if any one of tonight's finalists were to carry the title Calor Housewife for 1994. The high standard which they achieved made it a difficult decision for our judges. I would like to thank all those who entered the competition, and I would join with the contestants in saying thank you to our host, Gay Byrne. And now, Gay, you are going to make the most important announcement, the Calor Housewife for 94.
And the Calor Housewife for 94 is Hilda Kavanagh. Hilda Kavanagh. Come, Hilda. Come. In. want to say a word, just a brief word.
Yes, I want to say thank you very much indeed, Calor, for this award. I'm absolutely stuck for words. I'm seldom stuck, you know, I say a lot now and again, but on this occasion I am. And I want to say thank you for a wonderful weekend, and especially to all the other lovely ladies and their husbands. I hope we have a good celebration afterwards, and that this is only the beginning of a longer friendship. Thank you very
well
much
done.
indeed.
Congratulations to you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Our thanks and congratulations to everybody connected with the competition, and here's to the next time. Good night to you from Limerick. God bless you. Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.